Okay, okay, Veronica, you got to get this right.
Robert Piguet.
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 Robert Piguet. But how do you say the name of that fragrance?
Fracas or Fracas.
Well, that's not helpful. Fracas.
Fracas or Fracas.
Fracas. Well, which one is it?
Fracas or Fracas.
Fracas. So, gotta make sure we're saying
Fracas or Fracas.
fracas or fracas. Fracas. Hey friends, today is a request from a fellow YouTuber for me to share my Robert Piguet fragrances. Robert Piguet. All jokes aside, this house made one of my all-time favorite fragrances, Fracas. Now I don't know how to say it, and I'm having an identity crisis, and I don't know who I am in this world. Which way do you say it? I'm going to go with the S on the end just for this video. Are we cool with that? Fracas. Welcome. My name is Veronica. Glad that you joined me today. If you clicked on the thumbnail, interested in hearing about Robert Piguet. I have 6 fragrances from this house. I have a fellow reviewer here by the name of Annie Reviews that I will link down below. She is so lovely. I hope you will go check out her channel. Follow her, subscribe. Her content is very informative to me. She was interested in hearing my thoughts on this house and sharing the fragrances that I have. So there are 6, including my favorite, Fracas. Let's get into this review. We'll start with a fragrance that I've actually talked about on my channel before, and it is Mademoiselle. This fragrance had really great reviews on Fragrantica, and in the video where I mentioned this, I talked about this having a an opening that smelled like jarred salsa. Salsa, guys, like on the supermarket shelf, that kind of salsa, not fresh salsa. But I was really wanting to enjoy this based on the reviews and based on the notes. This has almond in it and orange blossom. And I really like those in fragrances, so I took a chance, and I'm glad that I did. Even though it opens like the strangest thing ever, as it dries down, it becomes this really interesting fragrance. And that's what I will say about most of the Robert Piguet fragrances that I have, that they are unique and interesting and distinct from most of everything else in my collection. This is a floral woody musk, and it's in the top almond, but you don't get the almond in the opening. You get it as the top salsa, whatever that is, dissipates away. Then the almond comes through. It's a bright, clean almond scent, not like a creamy almond, more just like the taste that you get in your mouth, how that smells when you eat like a handful of almonds. There's apricot. And then the full middle is orange blossom. In the description here, it says that this pays tribute to the romantic and sensual associations of orange blossom. I don't know that I would call this romantic or sensual. I would call this a cozy fragrance. Mademoiselle. In the base, there's tonka bean. There's something creamy, there's warm, a little bit of floral, but it's cozy. Does this smell like orange blossom to me? No, not in the traditional sense. I get more of a hint of apricot, a lot of almond, and tonka bean in this. Mademoiselle, I like it. Next in my lineup is Calypso. By the way, all the bottles that I have are black like this. I don't know if the brand has any other style of bottle. All 6 that I have look like this. Calypso is so interesting. It's classified as an amber floral, but to me it reads more like an 80s aldehydic fragrance with a lot of green in it. It's really an interesting scent. In the top notes, it has geranium and mandarin orange. In the middle, you get 2 different kinds of roses and orris root. And then in the base, suede, patchouli, amber, and a note that I cannot pronounce. I will stick it up here. So what do I get out of this? It's a very classic, traditional, maybe vintagey smelling fragrance, but with like a modern green kind of twist. It doesn't smell powdery to me, but I do get a lot of the rose in it, like a green rose, some patchouli. Don't get any of the amber or the suede. I would say like a patchouli rosy fragrance with, even though it's not listed in here as a note, oak moss comes to mind. This is unique and interesting. Geranium is one of those notes that is difficult in fragrances sometimes depending on what else is accompanying it. Here it plays quite nicely, a really green, earthy scent. Not for people that like to smell girly, that want to smell highly feminine. This is a very unisex fragrance. It has super high ratings, 4.17 out of 5 on Fragrantica with over 800 votes. That's pretty decent, I think. It's a year-round fragrance. This is one I would feel comfortable wearing in any season. Calypso. The name is weird. When I think of Calypso, I tend to think of like tropical fragrances, you know, super fruity, like mango, passion fruit, drink smelling kinds of fragrances, and it's nothing like that. I don't know where the name comes from here. The description says that Calypso radiates romance, seductiveness, and power, including the mystery and appeal of classic nymphs. Fiery and lush flower layers. I don't know that it's any of those things. I consider this very sort of sophisticated as a vintagey rose-based kind of fragrance. The third in my lineup is called Baghari. Ugh, this fragrance reminds me so much of Pure White Linen by Estee Lauder. It's classified as a chypre floral. I would call this like a green fragrance. It's very aldehydic, and it does have that as a top note, and citrusy. Bergamot, orange blossom, and lemon and aldehydes at the top. Citrusy, soapy, clean, green goodness at the top here. Not for the faint of heart. This is one that is kind of in that realm like Calyx is. Did anybody wear Calyx from Prescriptives? The old school one, not the new formulation. I don't know what the new formulation smells like, but it sounded like a good thing to say. I have the old formulation. This is beautiful. I love this. Again, it's not a scent that you would be used to smelling today. If you smell Pure White Linen, you know what I'm talking about. Imagine adding even extra citrus into Pure White Linen. Soapy, orangey, lemony smelling. There's rose and vetiver and lilac and a bunch of other stuff in the middle here. In the base, musk, benzoin, amber, vanilla. I don't get any of that, except that maybe all of that creates like a luscious underbase to bolster up the greenness and the soapiness in this fragrance. This is aldehydes done so right. I adore this. This is what I would wear with a power suit, or one of the fragrances I would wear with a power suit if I wanted to walk into a boardroom. I don't go into any boardrooms anymore, y'all. I don't know where we get these little images from that we share with you guys, but let's roll with it. I do go to boardrooms and conference rooms to talk with my colleagues, but we're typically quite casually dressed. Who wears power suits anymore? I don't know. Anyway, this is what I would wear if I had that stereotypical power meeting where I had that crisp white linen suit and I wanted to be like boss lady style. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. I need to wear this more often. This needs to be my scent of the day very soon. Fourth in my Robert Piguet collection is maybe my least favorite of the 6 that I have. And that's not saying a lot because I do like it a lot, but just of the 6, this is maybe the least unique is probably a better way to put it. It's not like a least favorite. It's the least unique. And it is Visa And this is the 2007 version. I don't know if this thing's supposed to be sticking out like this or not. I have no idea. Let me tell you about how this little bottle hurt my feelings. When I first got it, I opened it up and did not realize that this top comes off like this. It's a dabber. I thought it was a spray. So my clumsy self, and I am like uber massively clumsy, pulled this off in a haste thinking that there would be a sprayer underneath it or something, and it spilled and my whole room smelled like this for a week. This has super high ratings on Fragrantica. This smells to me like La Nuit Trésor from Lancôme meets Mademoiselle from Chanel. Like if you combine those two together, lighten both of them up just to have a little bit of a more modern touch, you might get something like this. It doesn't smell much like the notes here, so it's hard for me to share those with you because I don't think that's going to really give you a good sense of what this smells like. It's an amber woody, and I would say that that is true, the amber part of that, except I would add floral in there. It's a violet leaf, which I do get in here. It has immortelle in the middle, rose, there's rose for sure. And it has a big base, like a big 80s, 90s base. Vanilla, benzoin, patchouli, leather, sandalwood, oak moss, vetiver. It's luscious, it's sexy, it's deep, it's evening to me. But it does smell like other fragrances that we've put our nose on. That said, it's still a beautiful fragrance. Visa, one that I would probably wear like on a date night, out to dinner, or to an evening affair. Fifth in the lineup is, I think this is pronounced Futur, Futur, future, Futur. I like this a lot. This is not for everyone. Let us be clear. This reminds me of Encre Noire from Lalique mixed with Knowing from Estee Lauder. If you put those two together, added some more green notes in there, you might get something close to this. This is a pungent fragrance in that it smells like deep, dark green earth. It's considered a floral green. There's something a little indolic in here. It has at the top green notes, neroli and bergamot. You can smell that kind of thing right away. Very green, very, leaning like sharp citrus. Nice. It's like if you stuck your nose deep into a really luscious lime and got a whiff of wet, dark earth at the same time as what I get at the top of this. In the middle, you get jasmine, ylang-ylang, violets, leaf, and violet. And then in the base, vetiver, cedar, patchouli. Very earthy smell, very green. And finally, one of my prized fragrance possessions. It is Fracas. This is the queen of tuberose fragrances. And in fact, it's unisex, so it is the queen and king and everything in between of tuberose fragrances. This is a deep, earthy, buttery, luscious, rich, amazing tuberose. If you don't like tuberose, you will hate this. If you don't like mature fragrances, you will also hate this. It has jasmine and gardenia, osmanthus, some violet, some iris, a whole sort of cacophony of notes playing together in here, but they're all there to support the queen herself, the tuberose notes in this. A huge base of musk and sandalwood and amber and oak moss and vetiver and cedar. It is unique. People will know that you have on Fracas when you're wearing it. It does not smell like anything else I've ever smelled. And I just love this. It is beautiful, but not for the faint of heart. And you need to be in the mood to wear this. This is a huge fragrance. Fills up the room, takes you over. It will absolutely wear you. And I'm okay with that with this. This is one that when I spray it on, I know I've got on that fragrance, that one, Fracas. That's my Robert Piguet review. I hope you enjoyed. Are you considering any of these fragrances? Has this video convinced you that any of these are worth picking up? Would love to hear your thoughts. Take care. See you in the next video. I have a fellow YouTuber here by the name of Annie Reviews. I'll link her below. Please go check out her wonderful channel. Welcome. My name. Oh my God, what am I doing? It's because you're interested in hearing about the House of Fracas. No, not the House of Fracas. I don't know what the new formulation sounds like. I don't know what the